This is Mayfair Bible Church today, 100 years after its inception. But what are the reasons behind its beginning? Let's take a look back. Just 12 years after the World's Fair of 1893 in Chicago, and 2 years after the famous Wright brothers' flight at Kitty Hawk, downtown Chicago looked like this. State Street and Marshall Fields in 1905, Michigan Avenue and the Art Institute. For 5 cents, you could take a ride on a streetcar. There were street markets. The aroma of the stockyards filled the air. It was during this time period that 6 men and their wives met at a home in the Mayfair neighborhood. This group wanted an organization that stood for the Word of God from Genesis to Revelation. Soon a charter was drawn up, and the primitive chapel of Mayfair was born. Here is a picture of the church in the very early 1900s. It is the oldest inside picture we could find. This was when the original building was still right on the corner. It was moved several years later just to the north in its present location. The interior is much the same except for the layout of the pews with 2 center aisles. The pastor is right in center front. And notice the heating stove off to the left. The church went through 4 different name changes in its 100-year history. Pastor Albert Johnson is standing in front with several young people. This picture is taken in the early 20s. The congregation is standing in front of the church. A parsonage was built next to the church in 1926. Today it is on the registry of historic Chicago bungalows. Pastor Charles Bartels stands out as the most notable and influential leader in the long history of Mayfair Bible Church. He served 31 years in the pulpit before his untimely death in active service. It was under his leadership that the new addition was built in 1953.
When I was a child at Mayfair Bible Church, we had vacation Bible school for 2 weeks during the summer. And our play area was where the new church extension is. And at the corner of Knox and Wilson, diagonally, there was a large sign that said Mayfair Bible Church. And we would run around like mad, but it was on a sort of mound of dirt. And when I'd get to that mound, I'd stop because my brother Donald told me that's where they buried all the former pastors.
For many years, the church was in a prime location to impact future generations, being right across the street from Mayfair School. The school closed in 1962, making this challenge greater. But it is still the calling of Mayfair Bible Church to reach everyone in an expanding sphere of influence. From primitive chapel to Mayfair Bible Church, this inscription on the altar, "In remembrance of me," remains our reason to exist. Jesus Christ, the same yesterday, today, and forever. In a changing world, some things never change.